Hey guys, sorry I've been away so long, but the heat has got me drained to death, that and the rest of my life. So, I will do what I can when I can. Just know that I am doing the best that I can. So today I'm kind of feeling a pull to Emile, from France. Not that I can do much from where I am, but still feel the pull to it. Wanted to do that tonight. Lizzie's going to be stepping in because Tammy, well, I'm having to work at like 4:30 in the morning because of the heat and stuff. All my hours are backwards, and Tammy's probably asleep because she's got a lot to deal with during the day. So, um, Lizzie's a night owl like me. So, and I never know when I'm going to do this. Can't really prepare, unfortunately. So, for those of you guys that are new here, I'm going to explain a little bit how I work. But before anybody that wants to support me, you can support down below in the description box. All the information is there to book a reading, to the old podcast, the new podcast, the book, merchandise. If you want like a mediumship keychain or necklace, you can contact me for this through the psychicsleuth@gmail.com. And I think basically that's it. I'm done with the raffle tickets, but probably when I go live before I pull them, I'll give everybody a chance to get in on it before I do that. So if you attend the live, you'll be able to get in on that. That'll come up in the next couple days. I have some things going on the next couple days with my mom, so I'll get to it as soon as I can, and I'll do it live so that you guys can watch me. No, I'm not cheating. So, as always, please remain thoughtful and kind in the comments and in your everyday life. You know, it's important to put good things out into the universe. We need that right now. So, information that comes in can be past, present, or future. So, at any point in their life or any point in anybody's life, symbolic. Spirit loves to use symbolism or have multiple meanings. Spirit will often use my references, experiences, or how I relate to something to try to explain what they're wanting to say. As I get information, Lizzie's going to validate, yes, and how it makes sense if she can validate. There's not a lot on this case, so I don't expect her to be able to validate a lot, and my sitters aren't there to validate everything. So please be kind to them in the comments because that's not what they're here for. They're just here to have somebody to bounce off of energetically to help me pull the information so I'm not talking to myself. We just noticed that it helps me energetically be able to get a better read. So she will say yes or whatever, and that is just helping me bounce off of her energetically. And so keep in mind, I do get interconnects. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. That can be, cases due to timing and things like that. So maybe not everything will fit this case, although I do try to make everything fit this case. Spirit does what they do for a reason. I can get things surrounding the victim, surrounding the perp, surrounding the people. Like it's not just specifically related to this specific time frame and just the victim. It can be at any time frame in surrounding a lot of things. Even certain things that have happened in the area tend to come through sometimes. So I just try to explain a little bit of how I work. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. This is for entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. And everyone is held to prove guilty if there is anybody involved. And we're just going to see. I've already gotten visions on it of what I think and what I was shown happened about, 20 minutes before I decided to do the case. So we'll see if that comes through. It's a repeating image, not a great image. I've done a lot of these little boys in the past, and they all have been good outcomes. I'm not feeling that great about this one, but we'll get into it and see how it goes. Hopefully everybody will be quiet, but my son is here and dogs do bark at him. So if he has to go to the bathroom or something, and I put myself on mute, that's where I went. So I do apologize. I don't know why they do that. We're working on it. So, I think I've said everything that I need to say. Make sure you like, subscribe. Welcome to the family if you are new here, and I guess we will get into it. Just keep in mind that I do give everything from spirit, and I do try to perceive everything the way that best that I can. I am not perfect, and I may not always perceive it correctly, but I do try to interpret the best that I can because they are just sending me images via telepathy and I have to figure out what it means. So I will just try to explain what I'm seeing, and it will how we perceive it is what's important. So how it makes the most sense is what Spirit's trying to say, or how it fits. I think that's it. I think I said everything. I don't know. I don't know if I did or not. Hi, Lizzie.
Hello, everybody.
Anything I missed?
No, and if I have to mute myself, the little man is up. So
Okay.
I apologize in advance for that.
And that makes sense because she's a couple hours ahead. She's like 6 something there. I got on here late. What can I say? I
Yeah,
want to try
almost
to get
8,
done before 6. So
7:40,
6.
but he'll be probably going outside soon to get to work. He's a busy little kid.
Yep. So Lizzie and Tammy, whenever she can make it, do take out of their lives. All right. So I'm just gonna. I try not to know anything about the case. I do know a little bit about this case, though. I'm always straight up about what I know. I do know that he wandered off. People seen him wander off. So that's basically all I know, and I think they're all there is, anyways.
There's not a lot, yeah.
Yeah, there's not, and so I'm using this picture. I guess this is the most recent one that they have, actually. And before we were getting on here, I was getting a headache, like really, really, really bad. And my body aches, and it's that. I don't know. It's kind of matching with the vision I saw. We'll see if I see it again.
Okay.
Once I have that vision, it's kind of hard to see anything else. It's like when they repeat stuff, I know it's important and it's usually accurate, but it's hard to like put it back and try to see around it. But I'll do the best that I can. And I don't ever like to say if someone is alive or deceased because I can always read the energy wrong. I just give what I get and we kind of take it basically what it means. Usually if I see a passing or I feel a passing or I see certain things, then it kind of speaks for itself. So I'm just scribbling on a piece of paper to kind of pull him in if I can. My head is just like kind of hurting really bad right now. I don't know do you know if his parents were away from the house at this time and he was just I know he was with his grandparents, but were his parents like gone?
His parents were in another at their home. He was staying with the grandparents.
Okay, because I keep getting the parents in another location.
Correct.
And it's almost like he was going to look for them or something. Because it's kind of odd what I'm getting is I'm seeing him like playing, and then all of a sudden it's like he has this urge to just like go find his parents or take off. And I don't know if their driveway kind of is up higher and the street is lower, because I feel like I'm going kind of down like a walkway or a little road that is from a higher point, like if like and I think this area might be rolling hills anyways because I see it kind of rolling. But if how sometimes people's houses are a little bit higher, like on like a little not a big mountain but like a little hill,
yes.
And then that you have to drive up with a driveway, like that's what I kind of keep seeing. And I keep hearing like gravel or rocks, like with if someone would be walking down the gravel and rocks.
Okay.
So it's almost like I'm getting where I'm playing and then all of a sudden I don't know if I get bored or I just decide I want to go find, and I don't know how many times how much he stayed with his grandparents. But there's also a reference to crying. So I don't know if maybe something happened and he started crying and then he decided he wanted to like leave and go find his parents because he didn't agree with his grandparents. Like I'm trying to perceive it right. Hopefully that's right, but there's a reference to crying. So I don't know at what point that happened at.
Okay.
And it could be that, you know, he just wanted to leave and he was crying about it, or there was something that he did that he got in trouble for. But I keep hearing like a kid crying.
Okay.
And I don't know do you know if he was already outside the house? Because I keep hearing a door open and shut.
They were busy packing the car, and he was out playing in the garden, and they
Okay.
didn't realize he was missing until they went to go put him in the car.
Okay, so they were going in and out of the house? That could be why I'm hearing the door open and shut?
Yes.
Okay. I sometimes hear that too if like a kid walks off. I don't know why. It's like a symbolic thing, but it's almost like maybe they were going in and out of the house.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. Like it doesn't really feel, especially from the vision I was getting earlier, that there was anything really sinister here.
Okay.
I kind of get for a couple days I've been getting the reference to like Riker and the other kids that have kind of just wandered off.
Mm-hmm.
And I also don't know if he was like really curious. I keep seeing like a butterfly like flutter. So I don't know if that means that he was like kind of going after the butterfly at some point too. I'm kind of getting like a mix of all these things that were going on. Like maybe there was something about him, you know, him crying earlier in the day, and then like he's outside and he just wants to take off. But there's a point also where like I want to go home.
Okay.
So I'm getting all these kind of like mixed emotions, and it's hard to like break apart exactly why he took off. But they're showing me like a butterfly like fluttering, like maybe he wanted to go chase the butterfly. And so I'm also wondering, do you know if like their house is up a little bit higher?
The area
Than
when
the
you said
road?
about like the rolling hills, that
Yeah.
it does have hills there. When I was looking up, they show like an aerial map of the house. That's all that I
It's
had
just like
found.
it's kind of like it just sits above the road. That's what I'm getting. Is like it sits above the road, and then also to the back of the house, there's a reference like trees or a kind of like maybe wooded area. Um,
That's correct. It does, from the aerial view, there is trees behind the house.
okay, because that's what I feel like he kind of like. I think I was just seeing the front of the house like to show me like what the road and everything is like, because
Hmm.
I do kind of feel like I want to go. Was the garden in the back or the front?
From what I am gathering, it was in the back.
Back. That's what I was thinking, because I keep getting a reference to like the trees and stuff. Like maybe that's the direction he went, through the back, through the woods. Um,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Um,
But I don't know if that's why I'm seeing that, because I'm kind of questioning it, because they could just be showing me what the house looks like and around the house.
I maybe that's why you're getting it. The only
Yeah.
reason I'm saying that is because
The neighbors saw him go out the front, which we know.
that
So
that where the neighbors were, it does seem from like an aerial view, like the houses seem awful close, but the aerial view does look like the road slopes. And then the neighbors who had saw him is down a little bit from grandma's house.
okay, that makes sense.
Like it's on an incline.
Right. That's what I was getting. I mean, that's what I was getting, that it's up from the road.
Yes.
And then that's probably why I'm hearing like his little like feet like go on the rocks or gravel or whatever it is where you would hear it. It could even be the ground. It's just I hear walking.
Okay.
But they for some reason they show me they're just showing me the trees for like the what's out the back of the house, or to validate what's around the house.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of like the gardens, like maybe you're seeing the butterfly. A lot of people will, I don't know how it is in France and like what type of vegetation they have that grows there, but there's like certain plants that attract butterflies, you know,
Well,
so maybe
I'm
they have some in the
thinking,
garden.
and I'm wondering if that's one reason, like, he was trying to follow the butterfly at some point, because I'm kind of getting the reference to Kenny where I kept saying that he was following bugs or playing with bugs. Like,
Okay.
um, whenever hold on a second. Whenever the cops had said that, they were asking why he went off, and they said he chased bugs, and I was like, that's funny. It's kind of the same thing I'm getting, like that
Okay.
could be the reason for the butterfly that I'm seeing. Like, maybe he was curious and the butterfly kind of took off, but at the same time I feel like it's like I'm just walking down the road, like I'm just wandering off like a kid, but there's a reference to like maybe wanting to go home at some point. I don't
Okay.
know. Because I keep hearing that crying. So it's kind of all over the place what this kid was feeling at the moment and what he was doing, I guess.
Okay.
But I hear like market. Like, do you know if he went like past the marketplace, like where there's a bunch of little stores, or it's just considered a market, or
I,
it's almost like I see like, I don't know if it's cobblestone. Um I don't know anything about France. So just what I've seen in movies, and it's kind of reminds me of like those little villages with like the cobblestone stuff. I don't know if they're just showing me that because that's how I relate to it.
well, and that's what they call it, like a little village. They were saying
Yeah.
that there's only like, you know, a small amount of homes there, you know, but I do want to say I do believe they did call it like a market or something like that. I think I read that somewhere, but don't quote me on that. I'm not 100%.
Yeah, I don't know if that's just the name for it or not. I don't know. It's kind of, I'm seeing like, how like whenever you see in the movies or the storybooks how you see like all these little cottages and then like cobblestone, and there might be like, I don't know, maybe a store or something, or a little stand. I don't know. That's kind of how I see it. And that's
Okay.
how I relate to it, but that's kind of, and we do have him showing me. So, um I'm just trying to kind of track him because it's almost like I see him. He's going, I hear within 3 miles, but I know they checked all that. That's why it doesn't make sense. But I'm thinking that they may have missed him somehow. Like, he may have, I don't know what the terrain is like out there. Um, like, I'm not seeing anybody pick him up.
Okay.
I started to see something kind of like that, but it's like fleeting, and I don't know if it's my mind, because at the same time I'm seeing him walk off, and that might just be what they think too. I don't know. Um, I'm kind of trying to follow. I'm trying to follow him.
I would validate, you know, how you said there, like with him crying, you didn't know maybe if it was
Yeah.
beforehand or not. Apparently, there was a family gathering, and some of the kids were bickering. So maybe that's where you're getting the
Oh
crying
yeah, like
from and
maybe
wanting,
they weren't getting along or something, and he like wanted
yeah,
to leave.
and wanting to
Okay.
go home.
Um. Yeah, because I feel like this, like I want to go home, or I'm gonna go find home. So I'm curious, like where his home is. But it's almost like I go down to this village, but I cut across. Like, how there's like sometimes, okay, so if I'm seeing a village and I don't know if it's like woods, it's almost like it goes down and then there's like a bunch of trees. Like, okay, so woods to me is just a bunch of trees.
Okay.
So trees, and then there's like a creek. Um, so I don't know if there's that like by the village, like on the other side of it, because it's almost like I cross and I kind of go in an area like that.
Okay.
Um, But what throws me is like they've had dogs out there and stuff like that. Like, but at the same time, we've seen that many times with kids that were found. Like a stranger found JJ, so I can't really say that they haven't missed him in some
Okay.
way. It's almost like what I'm trying to see is if he got taken or if something happened. Because this area doesn't feel like it's like full of crime or full of weirdos or anything like that. It feels like a nice kind of, but you never know. I mean, you never know. But it feels like a nice area.
It's a very small town where like there's not a huge population, and it's kind of like everybody knows everybody, so you're right with
Yeah.
that.
It's weird. It's kind of like I see him. I don't know. Are you on the map right now? Because what I'm seeing is I see the village area, and then it's like I'm on, like, say I'm on coming from the house this way. Sorry, I'm getting like really tired all of a sudden, like a huge drain. Coming from like his house this way, I'm facing the street. The house is here, and it's like I want to go that way
Okay.
to the village, go down, and then it's like I cross. Like once I'm in there's like a street I cross,
Okay.
but I feel like I'm in that village area or whatever it is, and I like cross it, and I'm wondering if there's like kind of like a hill with like trees and then like a creek right there. Like that's what I keep getting him at. Like he crossed like kind of that way, but I hear turned around. Like he at some point got turned around.
Okay.
And lost. Because I keep getting reference to JJ and how he's like all like, like looking around in the woods, like I'm lost, like he's lost in like the woods or trees or something like that. But the difference with him is I keep getting a reference to hills.
Okay.
And it's almost like I don't know if there's rocks around there. Like rocks or like bushes or things that could hide him, because I keep feeling like I'm hidden. And I hope this is freaking right. I guess if it's not, no one will ever see it, but
There is it almost reminds me of like a country setting. I don't know France very well, but it seems very
yeah, I
country
mean,
setting. There's
I get the
mountains.
rolling hills, but that's the thing is like the vision I kept seeing. I'm kind of getting the same thing again, like, and I didn't want to go that way. I was gonna try to see if the reading went another direction, but I keep seeing like a reference to a hill or a cliff type hill that
There's definitely rolling hills there, and
like he's
mountains.
at he's at like the bottom,
Okay.
but it's like almost like if you can only see like a piece of clothing. It's weird because I keep seeing blue, and I don't know if that's just because of what he's wearing now, but it's like, if you were to peek through bushes or maybe some kind of rocks or something, and you would see like a piece of clothing. That's what I keep getting, but I'm freaking second guessing this for some reason.
I will say that, like, how you asked if there were trees in the back of the house
Uh-huh.
and stuff, like you didn't know if he wandered off that way. It seems like from the aerial view of the map, where they're searching is behind the house. So maybe that's why you were getting that.
Roscoe, stop. Why do cats try to step on the damn computer all the time? I hear the words dehydration, but there's a reference to my head as well. Like at some point, I feel like it's almost like the way they show me as I lose footing.
Okay.
or I slip or I slide. Because I can hear that, like how your foot would feel if it like slips off of something or slides off of
Okay.
something. That's why I'd be curious if like, because what I'm trying to do is like track the way that he went, and it's almost like I don't even know if I keep trying to jump on my computer to walk across it. So I don't even know if I'm like if I'm going the right way or if I'm mirrored. It feels like it's the right way, but I can't shake that. Like I crossed the street, like around that village area or a road or whatever's in the middle. Because the way I picture it's like there's like a road right there, like a little one,
Okay.
and um, it's like I cross it and go to the other side. But well, I lost this picture. Um, that's why I'm like second guessing because I don't know what the hills are like over there. Like, are there like hills and cliffs and stuff like that?
It looks like it from the pictures. They definitely have rolling hills. The pictures of like the police and
It's
search
hard to
party.
believe because of the way that I'm seeing the terrain. It's like, why? How could a little boy navigate this? It also makes me kind of want to go towards like, oh, someone took him, but it's like I don't see anybody. By now, I think I would have seen a perpetrator at some point.
Well,
Um,
his family, like how you said, like like how could he navigate this terrain? They were avid hikers.
they
so
took
he
him
co-
with them.
so he comes from a hiking background, and actually the day that they were packing up the car, they were supposed to be going hiking.
It makes me wonder if he didn't just like take off on a hike and then in a way,
Yeah.
or he thought he could just make it home. Like he comes across this very like strong-willed little kid.
Yeah.
Um, and I feel like that's kind of how he was raised, anyways. Like to be active and strong, and um, like he's one of those kids like you tell him no, but they do it anyway.
Yep.
Anyways, like that's kind of how he comes across as like a normal little boy.
Mhm.
Because I know that how many times it seems like boys are the ones that are the most stubborn. Like you tell them this things 500 times and they don't listen. It's kind of
Yep.
like that, and he's gonna do what he's gonna do, kind of thing. Um, still very sweet and good natured. It's just he's a little bullheaded at times, I think, or stubborn.
Mhm.
Um, the way that he's coming up, the way that I'm picking him up. It's so weird. So I just now noticed on this picture that there was snow at the top. Not saying that there's snow at the top of the mountain now, but the way they were showing it to me was like pointed mountains with snow at the top when we were getting on to do this live.
Okay.
And I didn't see that on here. Not that that's how it is now, but they are just showing me the area that he's from.
Okay.
I don't know. It's kind of like I hear like Swiss Alps, but I don't know if that's the same thing or if that's just how I relate to like that kind of.
Okay.
I don't know crap about France. Sorry.
Neither do I. I'm not good with the whole maps and geography and stuff. But when I did look it up, I mean, they have like, pictures of like the search team, pictures of the area and aerial view, but like they didn't even release like names, not even parents'
Yeah.
names. Like,
I I hear the word trails.
okay,
So I don't know if he took like a trail at some point. Um, and there's also a reference to like a field. So I don't know if it's like a field. It seems like there's like this field with tall grass and flowers in it.
okay,
Um, and I could be giving directions, like you would go this way and pass through all this stuff. But and then there's a reference to like a trail. So I don't know if there was trails that like go around the mountains out there. That's kind of what I'm seeing. But it's almost like because I hear a helicopter over me, so I feel like they flew over him, but I'm thinking they didn't see him for some reason. Like I just think he's in a spot that the way that he fell or where he ended up at, it's not seeable from the air or anything else. It's almost like That's why I keep getting, I don't know if it's like bushes with like rocks. I don't know if they have that there. That's just kind of how I'm relating to it. Like, if I was kind of fell in like almost like, it's not even a hole, but I don't know how to explain it. Like, you can only see like a piece of my clothing. Like, you can't see me.
Okay.
And there's a reference to a shoe, though. Like, I see a shoe laying on the ground. So I feel like maybe he lost a shoe at some point. But I really do feel like I fell. I either rolled down a hill, fell down a hill. That's, I think, where my headache's coming in at.
Okay.
And it might not have caused him to pass, but it may have injured him and he couldn't really do anything. And then I get like the dehydration. I could
Okay.
get a huge dehydration kind of thing. But there's also reference to like, I mean, I still feel like there's trees around me. I'd be curious like how far away the parents' house is.
It's like 200 miles, I think. I think it's
Oh,
a
so
little,
it's a totally different area?
yeah, it's a little bit of
Okay.
a distance.
I wonder if he just thought he was like closer or something. I don't know why he would think that. It makes no sense. It's almost like I feel like I'm taking off because I'm upset or something. I still get like I'm upset about something, but at the same time,
Okay.
I see that butterfly, so I don't freaking know at this point. Um,
And they did use helicopters.
because I can hear a helicopter over me, so I think they flew over him and didn't see him, just because of the way that he's hidden. It's almost
Okay.
like it's like you wouldn't be able to see me from up there.
Okay.
But the dogs, it's throwing me off that the dogs aren't picking up anything. Because I'm sure they took dogs, right?
I'm pretty sure that I'm not, I know that they used like a bunch of police force. I don't know if they used.
But I hear like lost scent, so I don't know if one of the dogs or like the dogs lost the scent somehow.
Okay.
But I keep getting a reference to there's like a shoe on the ground, and it's like really close to where like he lost it in the what happened. Like I'm not getting a reference to like a shed or anything like that. I feel like there might be. Do you know if there's like ponds or like, you know how sometimes there's, like in mountainous areas, there's like, I don't know if it's just ponds or like the bigger areas of water, like kind of like in the distance. I don't know why I'm seeing that.
Dogs
Like
were used.
I figured they were. That's why I'm kind of second guessing this because I feel like they would pick up the scent, but I'm gonna pull cards after this, make sure I'm right. But like, I don't get a perpetrator. I do hear a truck though, so there must be a road nearby. Like it, and there must be a truck that drives it a lot. Like someone that lives close by with like a bigger like engine truck.
Okay.
Not like a diesel engine type truck or just a loud sounding truck, not a trucker truck, you know.
Okay.
I just keep hearing a truck like that that's like going by me. So I feel like I don't know if there's any roads that drop off. Like, you know how sometimes in the countryside you have these little roads
Yep.
and then on the side there's like the mountain and it falls off. It's like that.
Hmm.
Am I not making sense to them?
No, you know what? Like I said, the map that like I tried even finding like the grandparents' address to put it in to see what's around that area, and all they show is like just that village and an aerial view of where they're searching. Um, I'm not seeing like I want waterways around there, like creeks, stuff like that.
Well, there is creeks because I know that they said that.
Oh,
But
okay.
I was seeing one, but it's like as I was the way I was seeing it was like you go down a little hill, a little slope, I guess I should say, and then there's a creek right there. And it's like it feels like it's like behind or really close to that village. That's what I keep getting. And then but the water I feel like is kind of far. I don't know why they're referencing that. It's just like maybe it's kind of far, but like it like the base it kind of feels like it's like a base of mountains. I don't know why they're showing me that. I have no idea.
Okay.
But I get like trails, but I get like this, like I was saying, like there's a reference to you know how when like a truck like or cars like they drive alongside, but then there's like it drops off on the other side, like a little hill on the other side, like there's these little road. I keep feeling like these roads are tiny road, like tiny dirt roads or something, like there's tiny dirt roads around there, but it's almost like there's this one and he might go to like his private residence, I don't know, but it might be near someone's property. Maybe
Okay.
that's why, because it comes across as like this. I keep hearing this truck, so this truck keeps going and coming, like it's leaving and going to its property, but it's almost like I'm on this little dirt road and then it kind of drops off on the other side. I don't know if that makes sense. It's rolling
Okay.
hills, so I could see where it would drop off, but I don't even know if I'm making sense. That's just what I'm seeing. Hopefully I'm perceiving it right, but that's what I'm seeing. Because I keep getting the reference to like it being hilly, like, you know, rolling kind of hills, like it's not flat. But
Okay.
then I don't know if there's some sort of cliff or higher mountains around there. Um, I mean, I know like in the background, right? But I don't know if the rocks are symbolic or not. But again, I feel like getting a reference to rocks.
Okay. I'm trying to get a street view
Because
just
I
to
know
see if
like a
I can
lot of times,
validate.
like I know a lot of times like the bottom of the hills or around trees or something, sometimes there can be like little rocks, like little those little gray rocks, like the bigger ones, and
Yep.
sometimes they're in clumps, you know. Like I
Mm-hmm.
keep getting a reference to that,
Okay.
and I just don't know if they have that in France. Like, I don't know what they have in France.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to get a
And I don't
street.
know what he was wearing. I keep getting blue for some reason.
Um, he
But
was wearing a yellow top, white shorts with a green motif. But I mean, maybe you're getting, could that be symbolic for boy? Like,
well, he's wearing blue in the picture.
oh, okay.
So I don't know. I mean, sometimes I see the colors as they are and sometimes they don't. That's weird. But
Okay.
because I was
I look,
also getting like
oh,
the color red, like I feel like there's color red around him or something. And also there's a reference to a windmill, like maybe a property with like one of those old school windmills on it. Keep getting that too.
okay.
Like, you know, those stand up ones with like people have on their, I don't know, I kind of relate it to like sometimes I've seen them like in Holland. I've seen them in the US too, but they're like the old school windmills.
Yep.
I see those. I see like one of those. So for some reason that's sticking out to me, like it's within vicinity of where he's at.
Okay.
And like I said, I don't even know if this video is going to make sense or help because I'm not from France and I don't know that any of my viewers are, so I don't know how it's going to help. But hopefully, I don't know. Like, I don't even know if I'm making sense of what I'm talking about right now. I feel like there's properties close by him though, but at the same time I feel like I'm like remote.
Okay.
It's just, I don't know, it's almost like he got into like a, my goat has chewed my hair. He's got into like a situation, like a, I don't know, like a weird kind of situation. A weird situation. I mean, it was dangerous for him to go out like that, but for some reason, I hear no fear. Like this kid doesn't have fear or something like that.
Okay.
I keep hearing this stupid truck though.
Close to that area, it does seem like there is like a market with shops and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So it seems like maybe it's like a little busier, more like than where they lived.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why you're getting the
Well, it's like if okay, I live out in the country, but I always pass the same road to go home. That's what I
Okay.
keep getting, but it's like a truck that like it's like the road that leads to his house, so he's going back and forth on it because I keep hearing the same truck go back and forth on it. And first I was like, well, why am I hearing that? Is it have something to do with someone taking him? But at the same time, I'm not really getting anything on a perpetrator.
Okay.
It feels like an accident, which I'll pull cards to validate that, but and it's hard to kind of describe what I'm getting because it all kind of looks the same.
That's what it looks like in the pit. Like it's just
Yeah, so I'm trying
hills
to
and grass and trees.
yeah. So I'm trying to like pick out things in my visions that they're trying to give me reference points because I'll get reference points of things that you see on the way or around there or close by or whatever. But I feel like I don't know, for some reason that windmill comes into play, and then it's like a house is like way that way. But it's almost like I fell and got hurt or something. I keep getting reference to slipping and losing a shoe. Like there's a shoe like laying in the grass. Like someone's gonna find a shoe in the grass. They have to.
Okay.
I mean, they have to. That's what I keep getting is a shoe in the grass. And there's a reference to like again like the tall grass and flowers. I don't know. I just know my head hurts and I like felt like an immediate drain.
Okay.
I don't know. There's something about birds, like birds circling or something at some point. Oh, it sounds kind of.
Okay, so the picture that I was looking for like area map while you were saying some things, and the one search area that they're going down into, like how you cut the grass and maybe along the side it grows like a little higher, like weeds type.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of trees around, and it's taller, and there are like flowers growing, like like once the grass gets so high it'll start to
Yeah.
flower. That's what it looks like.
But it's like the other side of a field like that. But that's kind of that's like the field I'm seeing. Like a field like that is what I'm seeing.
Yeah, if you zoom in, the grass is taller, like it's cut, and then the grass, like it stops, and then the grass is taller, and there are some
Yeah.
flowers within the grass. You can totally see it.
But I keep getting like a bird circling. It's really weird. Um, like in the sky, like doing circles. And there's also a reference to like a bigger tree, like a standalone bigger tree.
Okay.
I don't know if he's just giving me. I'm just getting stuff to try to, like, it would be on the way to him or around him, like
Landmarks.
yeah, like landmarks, reference points. It's hard because there's not like I keep getting within 3 miles, but my miles are usually on, but I don't know. I wonder if anybody has any trail cams out there. I keep hearing trail cams.
Uh, the one picture I just found of like search crews, you could see the higher grass, but there actually is like one standalone tree, and then maybe like 5-10 feet next to it, there's another standalone tree. But it seems like they're walking down that way.
Yeah.
And there is high grasses around them, higher grasses around them.
Like pulling him. I don't know how strong this reading was. I know that I feel like
Drained.
drained and I've got a headache and all of that. But I don't know, because like I keep hearing the helicopters and stuff, so I didn't make all that up. So I don't know. And I keep feeling like he slipped. I keep seeing the slipping or the shoe.
Okay.
Um,
And they did use helicopters. I guess they were playing like his
I'm
mom's.
not understanding how he's been missed with dogs and everything. That's what I don't get, is how he's been missed and how he got. I mean, we've seen the kids get that far, so that's not that much of a question, because Riker was almost 3 miles. He was 2.4 miles away.
Yeah.
He got pretty far.
I mean, I don't know what the area looks like over there. I mean, but like if it's heavily wood and stuff like that, and he's
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see.
2.5.
I don't know. Excuse me. He comes across as very just like curious, strong-willed, brave. But he can't shake that. I can hear like a truck.
Okay.
I just don't understand how they've missed him with dogs. And I think that's why they're thinking that something more sinister happened. And that's making me second guess too, is because they're thinking more sinister something more sinister happened.
Yeah, from what I read is that they called off the search because of like nothing yielded the 4 days, and they're going to go through like evidence, any cell phones of people who were in the area that I guess that day that might have pinged. So I think they're going to go back and look over everything.
I don't know.
I mean, but like you said, how many times have you seen it that kids have walked off and they've gone far? And if he has a hiking background and went hiking with, parents and grandparents, and they were going to go hiking, I mean, it's very.
Yeah, but I don't understand how they are missing him with dogs and all of that. Like, I understand the terrain and everything. There must be a reason that they're thinking that he didn't wander off. So it's having me second guess everything, but at the same time,
That's not
like
what you're seeing.
I'm not seeing a perpetrator. I don't know. I'm struggling with this one, which I would do if he was alive, but at the same time, I don't know. I wouldn't feel what I'm feeling, I guess. I just don't know if what I'm describing makes sense. It makes it hard because it's not here.
Yeah.
I don't know. The way it comes across, it's like he's just in a spot that's. But then why wouldn't the dogs pick him up? I don't know.
How they could like miss his scent or
Yeah, because I heard scent lost, so I don't know if at one point they did lose the scent, but. I don't know. I'm not seeing like him taken to a house and held or anything like that.
okay.
The last thing I saw was him like walking, and then he shows me he slips. But
Okay.
I think they've gone 3 miles for search area. I just not understanding why the dogs aren't picking anything up. That's really throwing me off a little bit.
Yeah, that is odd that the dogs aren't picking up on scent, or maybe they lost it, maybe they were only able to track it like so far.
But every time I look at him, like my head hurts.
Oh, maybe the reason why you were getting a truck because it was, I guess, like related. I don't know if it was a truck or a car, that they looked into because there was like blood on the bumper, but when they analyzed it, it was animal blood. Could that be maybe why you're getting that? I mean, because it's like surrounding the case. I got to see if that was a truck or not. I don't know if they said, I think they just said a vehicle.
This is like a loud sounding truck.
Let's see if I could, if it says, I want to say it's just a vehicle.
But I feel like I fall and roll or something, or fall. I don't know if anything. I don't know if I'm getting the whole story or just seeing bits and pieces, because sometimes I can just see bits and pieces, but I feel like if there was anybody involved who would be showing them to me. I don't know.
Yeah, that it just says, I guess they had a theory that like a car accidentally hit him and, disposed of him. And there was like a boy in town known as like Boy Racer who comes from like farm family. And he was involved in a collision 2 years prior, but it just says that he's a car and vehicle fanatic. But it just says, it doesn't say what type of vehicle it was, but it was listed as it being animal. Car, it says car, so I thought maybe that might have been why you were getting truck, like maybe it was something related to the case,
No, that's
like
something I
surrounding
keep.
it.
Well, it could be. I mean, I'm just not seeing that part of it. But I keep seeing. I just keep hearing the stupid truck. Like I keep hearing the sound of a truck like pass by me all the time. So it means he can't be far from a road. But
That's
again, it's like sloping. It feels like it's sloping down.
okay.
But obviously, I feel like there's a property close by. I don't know if the properties have acres out there or not. It's almost like between the road and like the house feels like it's in the distance, but at the same time I get a reference to like a cliff or a hill or something like that.
Okay.
But I feel like I don't know. I'm having a hard time like telling the difference between my mind right now because now it's going a little wild. Like all these things that could happen, you know.
Rein it back in.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe
I
like
mean
you
it
said,
could.
maybe you're hearing the truck, like maybe he's close, like off the road, and this truck, like you like lives there and travels that road daily, maybe that's why you're hearing it. It's like in the vicinity of where he's at.
Yeah, that's what it feels like, but I don't know if that means that they're connected to anything or not. Like I don't see any. It's like I'm getting. It's weird because it comes across as because I won't get every detail. I'm
Yep.
only going to get bits and pieces and what spirit wants to give me in the time frame they want to give it to me. So there could be someone involved and I'm not seeing it. But what they show me is it's almost like I walk across the street, I go down this little like hill, I cross there's a creek right there. Like that's like the last time I see him, and then there's a reference to what I'm saying about a road and a like a I don't know, it's like a hill or something off the other side of the road and the truck going back and forth and like all the stuff I've described. It's like skipping, but at the same time I hear like when you slide your shoe and your shoe I see a shoe off.
Okay. I gotta find a better map of that area.
So I mean
I even put in the
I
last
I
known
feel like
address.
I'm missing time or something. Like I'm missing something. You know?
Hmm.
But like I don't feel he's far from where he went missing. It
Okay.
doesn't come across that way. I just feel like you can't really see him the way that it comes across.
Okay. I mean, he is 2.5. I mean, he's only like what? How tall? Probably like at the max, what, 3 foot? Probably under 3 foot.
Yeah, we've done a lot of cases like this where they, the kids have run off at that age and they get pretty far. Um, but for the cops to think there's something weird going on, maybe there is. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, what they're saying is even though he was 2.5, like he was able to walk quite a distance. But what they're saying is like all the hunts and searches that they've done over the last 2 days, something should have yielded locating him. That's
Not
what
necessarily, because look at JJ. A
exactly.
random person found him, not the searchers, and
Yep.
they found him like on the third day or whatever. And then we have a random person found Riker, not the cops. They found him in the shed. So every time, except for Kenneth Howard, that I've worked a case, a random person has found him, not the searchers, but they've been searching.
Yep. So maybe they're
With
just
dogs.
calling it off too soon. Like, I don't know, they believe that they should have located him by now. And, maybe they're, I don't know, maybe they
I
should
mean,
just keep
I
looking.
don't. I'm getting the reference to like when my son ran off in Kohl's and I couldn't find him, and I was looking everywhere for him, and he was hiding in a rack, like in a clothing rack.
Yep.
And if he wouldn't have said anything, I never would have found. I never would have found him. I'm getting that reference. I know it's not even the same, but it's just like I think they're trying to show me that things can be missed.
Yep.
Um, because I'm sitting here second guessing everything a little bit, but it comes across as an accident. It's almost like spirits telling me no foul play. They're giving me an accident, but my cards are confusing the hell out of me. But I could just be misinterpreting them.
Okay.
I don't know. Lately, they feel like they're not jiving with me.
With your vibe.
Yeah, like they're not jiving with like things that I get, and it makes me sit there and second guess everything.
Well, don't
But
second guess.
I could like totally be misinterpreting. I don't know. All right. Well, I think that's all I've got for this case. It's almost 6 o'clock, and I didn't want it to be that late because now I won't get to bed till really late. But thank you guys for liking and subscribing, and we will see you next time as soon as I find the thing.
Bye, everybody.